Capricorn, lately the air feels heavier in rooms you used to brighten. The laughter pauses when you walk in. The space that once carried your peace now carries a quiet tension, as if even the walls know something you don't. But listen, destiny is whispering beneath the noise. Because sometimes, before heaven moves you forward, the ground beneath your feet begins to reject you. You've noticed it, haven't you? A sudden coldness from familiar souls. The plans that used to include you now happen behind your back. You feel the shift, but you can't explain it. It's not coincidence. It's cosmic eviction. They're preparing to remove you, yet they have no idea that what they call removal is actually release. They think they're throwing you out, but they're unknowingly helping you step into a story already written in your favor. Before we continue, seal this in your heart and in the comments. I can't be removed from what's meant for me. Say it boldly, Capricorn, because your destiny isn't at their mercy. Every uneasy glance, every whispered plot is the sound of heaven rearranging your surroundings. You are not being rejected. You are being redirected toward the door that carries your answered prayer. By the end of this message, you'll understand that the push you feared was the hand of purpose disguised in human form. They're building your exit, but heaven is building your entrance. It started quietly, didn't it, Capricorn? There wasn't a big explosion, no sudden betrayal, just a slow change in the air. A strange heaviness crept into familiar spaces. The conversations that once felt light now seem forced. You can sense that something has shifted, even when no one says it out loud. You walk into a room, and the energy feels different. The same people who once greeted you with open arms now look away too quickly. The laughter you helped build suddenly fades when you enter. You start to wonder, did I do something wrong? Did my light offend them? But deep down, you know the truth. You didn't change. The season did. You've simply outgrown the vibration of where you stand. And when your soul has completed its lesson in one place, the universe begins to rearrange your surroundings. It begins with small things. Delays, tension, awkward silences. People misunderstand your intentions, twist your kindness, or start to treat you like a stranger in a place you helped to build. It hurts, because you gave your heart to that space. You invested your time, your loyalty, your energy. But spiritually, that's how God signals that your assignment there is complete. Capricorn, you have to understand this. Growth is never silent. When your purpose expands, the walls around you start to tremble. Not because the place hates you, but because it can no longer contain what you've become. Your spirit becomes too heavy for the foundation you once stood on. And so everything that's not aligned with your next level starts to shake, loosen, and fall away. You see, discomfort isn't a punishment, it's direction. God allows friction to appear when you've settled for less than what He prepared for you. The tension you feel isn't rejection. It's transition. And while it may feel like people are turning against you, heaven is simply removing what can't follow you forward. Those subtle misunderstandings, those side conversations you weren't invited to, those moments when you feel out of place, they're all part of a sacred announcement. It's time to rise higher. You're not being pushed out of something good. You're being pulled into something greater. The same individuals who plot behind closed doors don't realize they're acting as divine messengers. Every whisper against you becomes an echo of destiny saying, prepare to move. This chapter is ending. Capricorn, your soul has grown beyond these walls. Your presence is too powerful, too charged, too awakened for the comfort zones that once contained you. So the walls begin to tremble, not in anger, but in obedience to destiny. They feel the energy of your transformation and instinctively know you cannot stay. And though it feels personal, it isn't. It's spiritual. Because when your frequency rises, anything not in harmony with it must fall away. The gossip, the cold shoulders, the sudden isolation, all of it serves one purpose: to free you from the cage you didn't know you were in. So don't curse the shaking, Capricorn. Don't waste your breath fighting for spaces that are collapsing by divine design. Those tremors aren't warnings of loss, they're signals of elevation. You are being prepared for the doorway that leads to your next realm. Let every wall that trembles remind you, you are growing beyond what once defined you. Let every whisper remind you, you are being guided, even through discomfort. And let every closed door remind you, heaven is opening something larger, something lighter, something lasting. This isn't the end of your story. It's the sound of destiny rearranging your surroundings to match your purpose. Every trembling wall is declaring one truth. It's time for you to rise higher. Let's talk about them. The quiet planners moving pieces where they think you can't see. They smile in public, but their hearts twist in private. They believe you're unaware, yet your spirit has already sounded the alarm. It's that uneasy flutter in your chest when they speak your name, that strange chill in the air when you enter the room. Capricorn, someone near you carries a hidden agenda. It might be a coworker who resents your consistency, a relative who feels small beside your strength, or a friend whose loyalty dissolved when they saw your light growing brighter. They admire your discipline but secretly envy your peace. You never competed with them. You simply stayed faithful to your purpose, and that quiet excellence exposed what they refused to confront in themselves. So, the whispers begin. Small conversations when they think you've left the room. Little plans masked as concern. They start to rewrite stories, hoping to paint you as the problem. They say, if we can push Capricorn out, everything will settle. But they forget. Your favor isn't furniture they can move. Your anointing doesn't belong to a position, it belongs to your soul. Destiny has a strange way of revealing itself through conflict. When heaven wants to relocate you, it rarely sends a polite invitation. Instead, it allows discomfort to build until the truth can no longer hide. The betrayal becomes your compass, pointing you toward the door you might never have opened on your own. So don't focus on the hands that push, see the greater hand that guides. Every scheme, every jealous glance, every whispered plan is being redirected by something far wiser than they can imagine. Sometimes, God closes the door softly. But when you ignore the signs, He lets people close it for you. Loudly, painfully, permanently, so you can't turn back. And though it stings, it's strategy. Because the room that once celebrated your loyalty has grown too small for your calling. The same table where you once served faithfully can no longer hold the feast prepared for your next season. They think they're expelling you. They think their silence will silence you. But in truth, they're ushering you toward elevation. Their rejection is heaven's relocation notice. Capricorn, keep your heart steady. Do not answer accusation with anger. Do not chase those walking away. Let them think they've won. Let them believe they've finished you. Soon, they'll realize that what they meant for harm became the key that unlocked your promotion. You were never theirs to keep, and they were never meant to decide your timing. Their plot behind closed doors has already been rewritten by heaven's open one. Here's the part they don't see coming, Capricorn. In their attempt to humiliate you, they're unknowingly building the stage for your revelation. They think their plan will break you, but it's only going to broadcast your strength. Every move they make in the shadows is already being rewritten in your favor. Remember Joseph in the scriptures? The one whose own brothers threw him into a pit? They said, "Let's get rid of him." They thought they were ending his dream. But that pit became the very passage to his palace. They stripped him of his coat, but not his calling. And what began as betrayal turned into a throne. Capricorn, your story carries that same rhythm of divine reversal. The pain that came to bury you will end up crowning you. The doors that slammed shut will redirect you to doors made only for you. Every insult, every betrayal, every false story whispered behind your back. They are not signs of defeat, but of redirection. Heaven is moving you closer to a new chapter of abundance. You might lose the position you once loved, but what's waiting ahead will restore your peace tenfold. You might lose the friendship that once felt like home, but you'll find a divine tribe that speaks your language of purpose. You might lose the place you worked so hard to belong in, but in its place, you'll inherit an environment that matches your growth. Because here's what God is saying. They think they're taking something from you, but I'm using them to lead you to something greater. Capricorn, the setup is already working in silence. Every push, every exit, every painful goodbye is guiding you toward your next miracle. The same people who whispered your name in mockery will soon speak it with reverence and awe. They will see you walk through a door they once believed was locked forever. And the truth will dawn on them. That door didn't open when they closed theirs. It opened when you stopped knocking and started trusting. Because your breakthrough was never meant to come from their approval. It was always waiting for your surrender. This is the divine reversal, where humiliation becomes elevation, where rejection becomes direction, and where every plot against you becomes proof that heaven was involved from the very beginning. Capricorn, there is a door that your soul has whispered about in prayer, a door that leads to peace, to prosperity, to the kind of calm that no one can take away. You have longed for it in silence, asking the universe, when will it be my turn? But to reach that sacred doorway, you had to be lifted out of what was no longer aligned. You see, you couldn't step into the new while holding on to the old. So heaven had to orchestrate your removal, not as punishment, but as protection, not as rejection, but as redirection. You didn't lose your place. You were repositioned. That push you felt, that sudden change that felt unfair, it wasn't meant to destroy you. It was meant to release you. The so-called kick out was really a kick forward. They thought they were closing your story, but all they did was turn the page toward your breakthrough. In spiritual truth, some doors only open through separation. When the soul evolves, the attachments that once held meaning begin to fade. You can't walk into divine elevation while still clinging to what's collapsing. You can't rise to the next level while your feet are chained to what's familiar. So the universe had to create a shakeup strong enough to move you. Capricorn, what's ahead of you is not another opportunity. It is destiny itself calling your name. You are being led into a place where your light will not be dimmed to make others comfortable, where your gifts will be recognized, your words will be valued, and your peace will finally feel safe. In this new space, you won't have to shrink to fit. You won't have to explain your worth. The people waiting for you there will understand your energy without translation. They will see the strength in your silence and the gold in your spirit. And when that moment comes, when you finally step through, you'll look back and smile through the memory of what once hurt. You'll whisper to yourself, "Now I understand why they pushed me out. I would have never left on my own." Because sometimes comfort is the enemy of calling. And if the door hadn't closed, you would still be standing on the wrong side of your purpose. The door they shut behind you was made of wood. Ordinary, breakable, temporary. But the one that now stands before you is made of gold, engraved with your name, sealed by divine timing, and guarded until you are ready to enter. Walk through it, Capricorn. You've prayed for this moment. You've waited through nights of confusion and tears. Now heaven is saying, this is it. Your new chapter begins where their plan ended. Their push was the key, and your faith has turned the lock. Capricorn, after everything you've endured, the tension, the whispers, the push, the exit, you will wake up one morning and feel something shift in your spirit. The pain will no longer sting the way it used to. The anger will no longer rise when you think of their faces. Instead, an unfamiliar calm will cover you like a warm dawn light. It will be peace, real peace. The kind that doesn't depend on apologies or closure. You'll realize that the closure you were searching for never had to come from them. It came from within you. From the understanding that destiny needed you free, not angry. At first, it will feel strange to live without the noise of disappointment. You'll notice that you don't replay the conversations in your mind anymore. You won't rehearse what you wish you said. You'll simply breathe, deeply, quietly, and understand that peace is the sound of heaven saying, it's done. You see, Capricorn, grace has a way of settling things that revenge never could. The same people who wanted to see you crawl will have to watch you walk in peace. And here's the most beautiful part. You won't even want revenge, not because you've forgotten what they did, but because you've evolved beyond the vibration where revenge lives. You've entered a higher frequency, one where peace is wealth and forgiveness is power. The peace that follows will be so divine that you'll look at your life and whisper, "If I had stayed angry, I would have missed this." You'll realize that vengeance is too small a reward for what God gave you instead. They wanted to see you broken, but heaven wanted to see you blooming. Soon, the people who once mocked you will see the transformation they can't explain. They will watch as your silence begins to glow louder than their noise. They'll wonder how you kept your balance after being pushed. They'll whisper, "How did Capricorn survive that?" But you'll know, it was never survival, it was rebirth. They will wonder why your silence doesn't sound like defeat, but it's because you've stepped into a sacred realm of quiet victories. You've discovered that success doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. And your silence, Capricorn, will be the loudest testimony of all. In this new season, success won't be about how much you prove, but how much you no longer need to explain. Your blessings will start whispering your story for you. People will see your name on opportunities you never applied for. Doors will open that your resume couldn't justify. It will confuse them how favor found you again after everything they did. But that's what grace does. It returns stronger than the gossip that tried to bury you. New connections will appear out of nowhere. People whose hearts are aligned with yours will enter your life, not to drain you, but to build with you. You'll feel divine alignment again, relationships that don't demand your proof, but honor your presence. You'll find yourself laughing again, not the forced kind of laughter you gave while you were pretending everything was fine, but the genuine kind that rises from freedom. Your shoulders will feel lighter, your nights will feel softer, and your prayers will sound different. Less like begging, and more like thanking. You'll look back at those dark days and realize they were not sent to destroy you, but to detox your spirit. The storm that came to break you actually washed away everything unworthy of your peace. It removed the hands that were not meant to clap for your next season. It silenced the voices that would have contaminated your calling. It cleansed your path of hidden traps you didn't even know were there. Capricorn, this is what grace does. It steps in when you stop fighting. It repairs what was broken while you rest in faith. And it brings you out so renewed that even those who doubted you won't recognize the glow around your name. Your walk will change. Your posture will change. You'll carry yourself with a quiet dignity, not from arrogance, but from knowing what it cost you to be calm. You'll no longer seek validation. You'll embody it. You'll realize that peace itself is proof that you're on divine timing. And one by one, the very things that were withheld from you will begin to return. Multiplied, purified, and ready. The opportunities that were denied before will now seek you out. The same energy that was used to remove you will become the energy that elevates you. Because what's meant for you doesn't vanish, it circles back stronger. You'll start to notice synchronicities, doors opening at perfect moments, people showing up right when you needed help, messages arriving as if heaven is responding directly to your thoughts. These aren't coincidences, they're confirmations, proof that God's plan was never delayed. It was unfolding behind the curtain. Every storm that was meant to break you has instead washed away what no longer served you. Every tear you cried watered the roots of your next miracle. Now your spirit stands clean, not bitter, not wounded, but reborn, fierce, and favored. Capricorn, you're stepping into a life that won't require you to prove your worth. Your peace will speak for you. Your consistency will shine for you. Your blessings will be your loudest response to betrayal. So don't look back. Don't revisit the ashes of what you've already risen from. Don't explain your peace to those who enjoyed your pain. Because what was once home is now just a memory, a necessary chapter that had to end so your destiny could begin. And now, the ground beneath your feet is holy ground. Every step from here carries the signature of divine favor. You are walking into a future where your name carries spiritual weight. The same name they tried to erase will soon be spoken with admiration. The same person they tried to exile will soon be exalted. This is the aftermath of grace, not loud, not rushed, but powerful in its calm. You'll no longer chase, you'll attract. You'll no longer explain, you'll simply exist in alignment. And every sunrise that greets you will remind you that no human plot can close the door God has already opened. Walk forward, Capricorn, with steady feet and an open heart. You survived the shaking. You passed the test. Now, watch how heaven rebuilds everything around you, not as it was, but as it was always meant to be. What's ahead isn't just new, it's holy. And it's waiting for you to step fully into it, with peace as your crown and grace as your armor. So Capricorn, when you start to hear the whispers again, when you feel the energy in the room shift, when you sense that familiar door beginning to close, don't resist it, don't panic, don't question your worth. This isn't the end of your story, it's the beginning of your divine unveiling. Every time the world tries to count you out, heaven is counting you higher. You are not being kicked out, you are being called out. Called into a higher chapter, called into peace, called into purpose. The rejection was never punishment. It was preparation. The ending wasn't cruelty, it was correction. You're being positioned for something that couldn't have found you if you had stayed still. Say it one more time in the comments to seal this word. No one can push me out of what's mine. Let your spirit claim it. Let your faith echo it. Now take a deep breath and smile. Because everything they thought would break you is about to bless you beyond recognition. Your strength, your silence, and your faith, they are forming the bridge to your next miracle. Capricorn, you have survived what others thought would end you. Now comes the part where grace lifts you higher. You are walking into a season where your name will be spoken with honor. Your purpose will shine without permission, and your peace will speak louder than your pain ever did. If this message spoke to your spirit, subscribe and stay close, because your story of divine reversal is only just beginning.